When the morning rises and your spirit feels heavy, when the sunlight does not quite break through the armor of yesterday's wounds, and when you wake with a quiet trembling in your soul, remember this truth. You were not brought into this world to collapse under the weight of your burdens. You were shaped by a divine hand that carved strength into the marrow of your bones and placed courage behind your ribs like a secret fire waiting to be lit. So breathe now, breathe deeply, because each inhale is God's whisper saying, I am not finished with you yet. Let the morning begin with a prayer that is less about perfect words and more about the trembling sincerity of a heart that still dares to hope. As you open your eyes, as you rise from your bed, as the world around you begins its slow, rhythmic hum, say softly within yourself, Lord, walk with me through this hard day. Do not rush those words. Let them settle into the corners of your soul where fear sometimes tries to hide. Let them speak to your memory, reminding you that hard days do not mean defeated days, and tired hearts are still capable of beating boldly. You may feel bruised by life, worn out from worry, or pressed beneath responsibilities that stretch your strength thin, but remember, even the strongest trees sway in the wind, yet they do not break because their roots reach deep. So let your roots reach deeper this morning, not into your anxieties, but into God's unshakable presence. There will be days when the weight of what you carry feels like a mountain lodged between your shoulders, when you wonder how you will make it to noon, let alone through the dusk. But this morning prayer is not about pretending the mountain isn't there. It is about asking God to climb it with you. It is about lifting your eyes long enough to see that you never walk alone. Whisper to the heavens, Lord, steady my steps today. And know that even when the path feels uneven and your footing feels unsure, there is a hand above your hand guiding, protecting, supporting. There is a love so wide, so patient, so tender that it covers every trembling corner of your being. That love is your morning light. That love is your true strength. Hard days do not scare God. Your tears do not intimidate Him. Your worry does not exhaust Him. Your fears do not overwhelm Him. The storm may roar, but it does not diminish His power to calm it. And the storm inside you, yes, He can silence that too. So before you step into the day, let your prayer rise like a slow and steady flame. Lord, calm my mind, guard my heart, renew my strength, place peace in my spirit, and carry what is too heavy for me. You do not need perfect faith this morning, just enough faith to lift your eyes, enough faith to whisper His name, enough faith to believe that He hears you even when your voice shakes. Hard days can make you doubt yourself. Hard days can make you feel smaller than the challenges in front of you. Hard days can make you question if you truly have what it takes to overcome. But you are not walking into this day alone. You are stepping into this day with a divine companion who sees the parts of you nobody else sees. The quiet ache, the hidden fears, the silent victories, the unspoken prayers that slip from your heart like fragile birds hoping to be heard. God hears them all. He does not overlook your pain. He does not dismiss your exhaustion. He does not ignore the silent cries you release into your pillow when the night feels too long. So this morning, pray with honesty. Pray with your whole self. Pray not as someone who must have everything figured out, but as someone who trusts that God is already working on what you cannot yet see. Tell Him, Lord, you know where I am fragile. Strengthen me. Say, Lord, you know what worries me. Lighten it. Say, Lord, you know the path ahead. Lead me. There is power in honest prayer. There is beauty in surrender. There is transformation in releasing what you cannot carry. You may think your strength comes from pushing through every obstacle alone, but your real strength is found in the moments you bow your head and say, God, I need you. That surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the wisdom of someone who has lived enough life to know that divine power can reach places human strength cannot. So let your prayer this morning be a reminder that though the day may be hard, you are held by one who is harder still. Harder than any struggle, stronger than any enemy, greater than any burden. This day may bring challenges. It may bring uncertainty. It may bring moments that stretch your patience thin or stir old wounds you thought had healed. But let your prayer rise again. Lord, be my peace in the chaos. Be my clarity in confusion. Be my courage in fear. Speak those words with a boldness that surprises even you. Speak them with a trust that grows each time you acknowledge that you were never meant to face this life without divine partnership. God goes before you, He stands beside you, and He follows behind you. You are surrounded by a love that does not falter, a protection that does not tire, and a strength that does not run dry. You may not always feel it, but it is there, steady and unwavering, ready to lift you when you stumble and guide you when you cannot see the way. Hard days may try to convince you that you are alone, but you are not. The very breath in your lungs is proof that God is not finished with you. The sunrise that meets your eyes is proof that grace is still unfolding. And the quiet whisper inside you, the one urging you to keep going, is proof that the Spirit still speaks, still leads, still loves. So when your heart grows weary, say, Lord, renew my hope today. When fear creeps in, say, Lord, surround me with your peace. When doubt tries to shake your confidence, say, Lord, steady my spirit. The power of morning prayer is not in the length of your words, but in the depth of your surrender. It is in trusting that you and God together are stronger than anything you will face today. And perhaps this morning, more than any other, you need to know that God sees your effort. He sees you showing up even when you feel empty. He sees you fighting through discouragement. He sees you trying to stay grateful even when life pulls at your seams. He sees the tears you wipe quickly so others won't ask what's wrong. He sees the way you smile even when your heart feels heavy. He sees the strength behind your weakness and the resilience behind your fatigue. He sees you, and He honors what you continue to rise above. So let your prayer this morning be both a confession and a declaration, a confession of your need for His help, and a declaration of your belief that He will provide it. Say, Lord, I give you this day. I give you my worries, my fears, my doubts, my pain. I ask for your peace to settle where anxiety tries to live. I ask for your wisdom to guide every decision. I ask for your strength to sustain me. I ask for your love to steady me. Speak it slowly. Speak it truthfully. Speak it as someone who knows that prayer is not simply asking, it is aligning. It aligns your heart with God's intention, your steps with His plan, your spirit with His presence. And once aligned, you become unstoppable. Not because life becomes easier, but because your spirit becomes anchored. There will be moments throughout the day when the world demands too much of you. When someone's words pierce deeper than they intended. When circumstances shift suddenly and leave you breathless. When the unexpected knocks on your door and brings complications you did not prepare for. In those moments, return to your prayer. You do not need to speak it out loud. Just breathe it within your chest. Lord, stay with me. And He will. He always will. Maybe you are walking through a season of uncertainty. Maybe your finances are tight. Maybe your relationships feel strained. Maybe your dreams feel distant. Maybe your body is tired. Maybe your spirit feels stretched thin. But hear this truth: God specializes in meeting you where you are. You do not have to pretend. You do not have to hide your trembling. You do not have to present a polished version of yourself. God prefers the raw, the honest, the vulnerable. The version of you that whispers, I'm struggling, but I'm still here. Because that whisper is faith. That whisper is courage. That whisper is the kind of prayer that shakes heaven and summons strength. So as the morning unfolds, let your spirit rise with a renewed sense of purpose. Remind yourself that you have survived every hard day that came before this one. Remind yourself that the same God who carried you through storms you thought would drown you is carrying you now. Remind yourself that your strength is not measured by how loudly you roar, but by how faithfully you rise. Prayer is your rising. Prayer is your reclaiming. Prayer is your weapon. Prayer is your shield. And though the world may tell you that hard days are signs of failure or weakness, know this: hard days are often the birthplace of the strongest version of you. They are the soils where resilience roots itself. They are the classrooms where wisdom teaches. They are the places where you learn the sacred art of depending not on your own understanding but on God's infinite grace. So do not resent the hard day. Do not fear it. Do not shrink beneath it. Instead, lift your prayer like a torch and carry it into the darkness. Because where your prayer goes, light follows. Where your prayer rises, strength forms. Where your prayer lingers, peace settles. Tell God, use this hard day to shape me. Use it to teach me. Use it to strengthen me. Use it to transform me. And know that He will never let a hard day go to waste. Every trial holds a blessing. Every tear holds a lesson. Every setback holds a redirection. Every challenge holds a deeper intimacy with the one who walks beside you. You may not see it now, but when you look back, you will realize that the day you thought would break you actually built you. So breathe now. Breathe peace into your chest. Let morning light settle on your skin like a quiet promise. Let hope unfold gently inside you like a new flower awakening in spring. Speak your prayer again slowly, deliberately, claiming the day instead of fearing it. Lord, I trust you. Lead me through this hard day. Let those words echo in you. Let them become the rhythm that carries you. Let them become the strength that holds you. Let them become the peace that steadies you. For God is with you now, in every breath, in every step, in every trembling hope, in every quiet prayer, in every tear that falls, in every moment you reach for Him. He is there. And where He is, victory can grow, even in the soil of hardship. So rise now. Walk into the day with your head lifted, not because the day is easy, but because your God is mighty. And mighty is the one who walks with Him. Let your morning prayer be your anchor. Let it be your courage. Let it be your reminder that you are held, that you are guided, that you are protected, that you are loved beyond measure. For even on the hardest days, God's light finds you. God's strength holds you. God's love surrounds you. And God's purpose moves through you. So step forward now. The day awaits your courage. The world awaits your light, and heaven walks beside you. And when you step deeper into this day, let the truth settle gently in your spirit that even the hardships you fear are not bigger than the God who holds you. For there is something sacred about beginning your morning with a whisper that reaches heaven before the world reaches you. Something powerful about choosing prayer over panic, surrender over stress, presence over pressure. So let your heart speak again, not with rehearsed phrases, but with the genuine sound of a soul reaching for its maker. Say, Lord, stay close to me today. Let your presence be the cushion beneath every heavy thought and the calm behind every weary breath. Let these words rise and stretch across the landscape of your mind, filling every empty space with the warmth of divine comfort. For you, dear heart, do not walk into this day unarmed. You walk in with prayer. You walk in with promise. You walk in with a covering that no enemy can penetrate. And if there comes a moment, perhaps in the middle of your work, or during a conversation, or while your mind is wandering, when the weight presses hard against your chest, when the air feels thin and strength feels distant, do not be ashamed to pause. Do not be ashamed to close your eyes for a brief second and whisper within yourself, Lord, carry me now. This prayer is not a sign that you are collapsing. It is a sign that you know where real strength is found. For even the bravest warriors grow tired, and even the most resilient souls have moments where their knees threaten to buckle. But prayer, oh prayer, is the gentle hand that steadies you, the quiet reminder that you were never created to stand alone. Let your faith, no matter how fragile it may feel, be the flame that refuses to go out. Even a trembling flame can light a dark room. Even a quiet prayer can shift the atmosphere. Even a weary soul can rise with renewed strength when touched by the breath of God. So let this morning stretch into a day soaked in divine companionship. Let every thought you have, every decision you make, every step you take be surrounded by this simple, sacred invitation. Lord, walk with me not only in the bright moments, but especially in the moments when the world seems dim. And perhaps right now, as you read these words, you feel something stirring, something small, something warm, something like hope beginning to peel itself away from the shadows where it has been hiding. That is no accident. That is your spirit remembering that it was born resilient. That is your soul recalling that it has been held by God through storms fiercer than the one you are facing today. That is the quiet echo of every past victory reminding you that this hard day will bow too. You see, hard days have a way of distorting your vision. They try to make your problems appear larger and your strength appear smaller. They try to convince you that you are powerless, forgotten, or drifting without direction. But prayer realigns your sight. Prayer brings the horizon closer. Prayer allows you to see not with the eyes of fear, but with the eyes of faith. And when you see through faith, even mountains shrink, even storms calm. Even darkness begins to break apart beneath the authority of divine light. So let your morning prayer grow deeper as the day stretches forward. Let it become more than words. Let it become an atmosphere around you. When your mind tries to wander into anxiety, guide it gently back into prayer. When your heart tries to sink beneath pressure, lift it again with prayer. When your spirit begins to tremble, anchor it with prayer. For prayer is not just something you do, it is something you carry. It is a shelter you walk inside of. It is a strength woven through your spirit like golden thread. Say to God in the stillness of your mind, Lord, teach me to walk through this day clothed in your peace, armored in your grace, strengthened by your word. And as you say it, believe that something is shifting, right now in the unseen places. Believe that the heaviness is loosening its grip. Believe that angels are being dispatched on your behalf. Believe that God is smoothing paths ahead of you that you don't even know are rough yet. Believe that divine protection is circling you, divine wisdom is guiding you, and divine strength is rising within you. And as you move forward, remember this: you are not defined by how hard the day is. You are defined by how faithfully you rise within it. You are defined by the way you reach toward God even when life feels suffocating. You are defined by the light that continues to glow inside you even when darkness surrounds you. You are defined by a divine fingerprint on your soul that hardship cannot erase. So walk as someone chosen, speak as someone covered, move as someone empowered. There is something extraordinary that happens when you begin your morning with a surrendered heart. The day bends differently for you. Doors that were once stubborn begin to shift. Strength that seemed distant begins to return. Peace that felt unreachable begins to settle like dew. Because prayer does not always change the circumstance immediately, but it always changes you immediately. It changes the way you carry your burdens. It changes the way you perceive your challenges. It changes the way you step forward. Prayer transforms you from the inside out, giving you the courage to face a day that once frightened you. So let your morning prayer remind you that you are not fragile. You are growing. You are not empty. You are being filled. You are not lost. You are being guided. You are not forgotten. You are deeply seen by the one who shaped you. And when you feel the day pressing down on you, remember the power of saying, Lord, strengthen my spirit. For sometimes the greatest battles are not outside of you. They are within you. And God knows how to fight those battles too. When you feel that old fear rising again, the fear that whispers lies into your mind, breathe deeply and pray, Lord, replace my fear with your courage. When discouragement brushes against your chest like a cold wind, pray, Lord, remind me of who I am in you. When loneliness creeps into your heart, pray, Lord, stay close. Wrap me in your presence. When uncertainty clouds your steps, pray, Lord, guide me even when I cannot see. Each prayer is a step. Each step is a victory. Each victory pushes the darkness back a little farther. And the more you pray, the more you realize that God's presence is not a moment. It is a constant. It is not a brief encounter. It is an ongoing relationship. It is not a fleeting touch. It is a resting place. And when evening comes and you look back on the day, you may realize something unexpected. The day was hard, yes, but you were held through it all. The moments that should have broken you only bent you. The burdens that felt unbearable became lighter when you surrendered them. The fears that tried to choke you lost their grip. The anxiety that tried to rise was quieted. The weakness you feared was met with strength. And it was not by your power, it was by the one who heard your morning prayer. So continue this rhythm. Continue this sacred practice of beginning your day with surrender. Continue trusting that even when the day is heavy, God's presence is heavier. Continue believing that miracles are slipping into your life in ways you cannot yet see. Continue knowing that prayer is not your last resort. It is your first defense. And if tomorrow is hard again, and some days will be, rise again with the same unwavering courage. Lift your morning prayer again. Whisper your trust again. Reach for God again. Because every time you pray, heaven leans in. Every time you surrender, strength rises. Every time you trust, peace grows. So let this day unfold with the quiet certainty that you are not alone. Every breath is a reminder. Every moment of stillness is a reminder. Every small victory is a reminder. And this prayer you carry from morning into evening, is the reminder that the God who began the day with you will finish it with you too. And as the hours stretch forward and the world begins to pull at you from every direction, let this truth settle deeper into your bones. You do not move through this day as someone fragile or forgotten, but as someone divinely accompanied. Every step you take is echoed by a greater step beside you. Every sigh you release is heard by a greater ear, and every quiet hope rising inside you is nurtured by a greater love. Hard days may try to convince you that you are walking through fire without protection, but your morning prayer wrapped you in a covering that flames cannot consume and storms cannot tear apart. So when pressure rises and circumstances shift and the unexpected tries to shake your peace, pause for a sacred second and feel the nearness of God around you like warm light settling over cold skin. Let your spirit whisper, even if softly, even if only in thought, "Lord, stay with me in this moment." And know that He does not hesitate. His presence pours in like water, finding every gap, every crack, every hidden ache. And if at any point your strength begins to waver, and it might, because you are human and your heart has carried so much, remember that prayer is permission for God to refill you. You do not need to be a warrior every hour of the day. You do not need to speak with unwavering conviction. You do not need to pretend that everything is fine. You simply need to turn your heart upward for a moment and say, "Lord, I am tired. Renew me." And something holy happens in that vulnerability. Something gentle. Something transformative. Strength enters through honesty. Peace enters through surrender. Grace enters through cracks you once tried to hide. And you rise, not because the day has become easier, but because you have become stronger. For prayer does not remove the weight of life. It teaches your spirit how to carry it differently. It teaches you how to lean instead of collapse, how to trust instead of fear, how to breathe instead of break. When your morning began, you opened the door for divine assistance, and that assistance follows you like a shadow made of light. It walks behind you, catching what tries to fall. It walks beside you, steadying what tries to shake. It walks ahead of you, clearing what tries to block your way. So do not be afraid of the hours ahead. They are not empty hours, they are filled with God's nearness. And as your day unfolds with its twists and turns, let your spirit stay in quiet conversation with Him. You do not need formal words. You do not need eloquence. You simply need awareness. Awareness that God is here. Awareness that God is listening. Awareness that God is working even in the silence. And when your mind wanders into the territory of worry, which it will, because the human mind is a restless traveler, gently pull it back toward trust. Whisper, "Lord, give me peace," even if you must say it 100 times. Whisper, "Lord, guide my steps," even if you feel lost. Whisper, "Lord, give me patience," even if your emotions tremble. Every whisper becomes a rope pulling you back into the arms of the one who knows how to hold you. Let your day be a journey of returning again and again to the God who does not grow weary of your need. Returning to the one who understands the groan in your spirit even when you cannot form the words. Returning to the one who sees the tears behind your brave face. Returning to the one who knew you would face this hard day long before you woke up to it, and who prepared strength for you before the sun rose. You are not stumbling through this day blindly. You are walking through it with divine foresight guiding your path. And if loneliness touches your heart, as it sometimes does on the hardest days, lift your thoughts gently heavenward and say, "Lord, let me feel you close." And you will. Maybe not in fireworks or thunder, maybe not in sudden miracles or visible signs, but in the quiet calm that settles over your thoughts. In the warmth that spreads through your spirit when you thought you would shiver with fear. In the unexpected clarity that arrives when confusion begins to cloud your mind. In the way your heart steadies itself without explanation. In the way your breath deepens when moments ago it felt shallow. These are the fingerprints of God. Subtle, tender, unmistakable. Carry this truth into every moment. There is no part of this day God is unwilling to enter with you. If you walk into tension, He walks with you. If you walk into uncertainty, He stands beside you. If you walk into sorrow, He sits with you. If you walk into chaos, He steadies you. No season is too dark for His presence. No circumstance is too tangled for His wisdom. No burden is too heavy for His strength. And when the day tries to overwhelm you, not just with events but with thoughts, do not fight alone. Return to your morning prayer. Return to the promise you whispered when the world was still quiet, "Lord, lead me." That prayer is still active. It is still working. It is still opening doors and closing harmful ones. It is still shifting the unseen. It is still guiding the unfolding of every hour. Sometimes you may think nothing is changing, but mountains often move silently. Blessings often arrive quietly. Protection often happens without announcement. Grace often works in the background. And when frustration rises, as it sometimes will when the weight of a hard day presses too long, breathe and say, Lord, soften my heart. Keep me kind, keep me patient, keep me grounded. For a hard day can make the gentlest person feel sharp. It can make the calmest spirit feel shaken. But prayer keeps your heart soft in a world that can be harsh. Prayer keeps your mind steady when thoughts want to scatter. Prayer keeps your spirit anchored when storms try to pull you away from yourself. You are not required to be perfect today. You are only required to stay connected, to stay open, to stay surrendered to the one who can turn even the hardest days into places of unexpected growth. And though you may not feel it yet, hard days often plant seeds for beautiful tomorrows. Hard days teach you resilience. Hard days deepen your faith. Hard days reveal strength you never knew you carried. Hard days push you into God's arms, not because He needs you to struggle, but because He wants you to know that His presence is your refuge. So when the evening finally comes and the sun begins to sink, you will be able to look back, not with regret, not with shame, not with despair, but with quiet gratitude. Gratitude that you survived what you thought you couldn't. Gratitude that strength rose in places you feared would remain weak. Gratitude that peace found its way into cracks you believed were too broken to mend. Gratitude that God was faithful in every breath, every moment, every hour. And tomorrow, when a new morning arrives, you will begin again, not from empty but from strengthened. Not from fear but from trust, not from weariness, but from a soul that has known what it means to be held by God on the hardest of days. And as this day continues to unfold, let your heart rest in the gentle truth that you have not been navigating its heaviness alone, not for a single moment, not for a single breath. Even in the moments where you felt yourself drifting, God was steadying you. Even in the spaces where your thoughts felt tangled and tired, His hand was quietly untangling what overwhelmed you. Even when frustration rose like a tide, ready to swallow your calm, His presence was already moving to steady the waters within you. And perhaps you didn't see it at first. Perhaps all you saw were the responsibilities stacked like mountains and the emotions pressing against your chest like an unyielding weight. But underneath every pressure, underneath every quiet ache, underneath every whispered prayer, something holy was happening. God was strengthening you from the inside out. For sometimes His work in your life is not loud or dramatic. Sometimes His miracles do not come in flashing lights or sudden breakthroughs. Sometimes they come in the form of endurance you didn't know you had, patience you didn't believe you could hold, peace settling into your heart like a soft wind touching still water. Sometimes His miracle is simply the fact that you kept walking when everything in you wanted to stop. And that is not small. That is not insignificant. That is grace flowing through you like breath itself. So let this moment be a reminder that the strength rising within you right now is not accidental. It is the result of your spirit reaching for God even when your hands felt too tired to lift. It is the reflection of every prayer you whispered when the morning was still young. It is the quiet fulfillment of the trust you placed in Him when you chose surrender over struggle. And though the day has not been easy, you are discovering that you carry a resilience that challenges every storm. A resilience shaped by God's hand, not your own striving. A resilience that grows stronger every time you choose faith over fear, rest over panic, hope over despair. And if at any point you begin to feel worn again, if the hours stretch too long or the challenges feel too sharp, return to the breath of prayer.